All right, thanks for tuning in to Keeping It Real with Nycole, all things real estate. Today I have Christina Waters of Neat, Ohio with me. In my real estate business, I have a lot of people that ask, hey, do you have a contact for someone to do an estate sale? Or, hey, do you have a contact for someone to clean out even a hoarder house? So we have Christina. Welcome, Christina.
Hi, thank you.
All right, Christina, can you tell me a little bit about yourself and your business?
My mom was a real estate agent, and we had sort of people in my family who did estate sales, so I was always around it. I've always been into antiques. I actually worked for an estate sale company in Colorado for a few years, and then I moved out here at the end of 2019, and I wanted to start this business, and I wanted to be in charge of sort of how it was run because I want to be more donation centric than I think some companies are. So yeah, that's sort of our mission statement is we're really heavy on donation.
Awesome.
Yeah, and then I just met my business partner at the dog park during COVID because that was all we could do. And he had a truck and a trailer, and I was like, let's do this. And he was on board.
Excellent, excellent. And there definitely is a need for this service. So are you insured and bonded?
We are not bonded, but we don't need to be. We have a $2 million comprehensive liability insurance.
Okay.
So,
Perfect.
yeah, that covers basically everything.
Perfect. So let's say someone, they're having an estate sale or planning one. They are now in possession as the executor of an estate. They don't know what to do, and they call you. What kind of lead time are you looking at to be able to conduct an estate sale?
Okay, so that's a lot. So usually, some instances, it's we got to meet today. We're only in town. You know, it's usually a situation where they have no idea what to do. So sometimes it's like we got to drop and go right now. But in terms of for meeting and discussing, that's sort of how that goes. But in terms of setup for the estate sale, I like to have 2 weeks because we do a lot of marketing. We do YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. We do all of that. But I guess I should have put this before that. We start by coming out there and assessing whether or not, the valuation is high enough to host an estate sale. And if it's not, we will give them a price for a clean out. So we just always want to give them, an option. Like, we don't want to just say, no, we can't help you.
Okay.
We only did that recently because it was a really bad situation. Like, we couldn't even walk into the house, and she had already gotten a bid that was way lower than what we would have. And we were just like, you should go with that. Like, because we always just tell people, like, do that one.
Sure.
Take that.
Honesty is
Yeah,
best policy.
yeah.
Absolutely. So let's move into for pricing. Mm-hmm. Do you go room by room or a flat fee or percentage of a sale? I mean, I'm sure there's all different scenarios, but maybe take us through one or two.
Okay, so it is different every single time.
Much like real estate.
Yeah. So pretty much every contract there's always a little bit of a difference in terms of pricing a clean out or pricing the estate sale items.
Let's start with the estate sale.
Okay, so usually our typical rate is 60-40 split where the owner takes 60 and we take 40.
Okay.
That's typical. I mean, sometimes if our valuation is low, we'll do 50-50. And there's other, if it's just, we'll give you a clean out and just take, what profits we can from selling of the items.
Okay.
So that's a very low valuation. But
so in that case, it sounds like someone could come in and just basically have you clean it out, keep the items, and then there would be no cost to the client?
Yeah, in that case, we like to have that as an option because that's for a situation where, maybe that's just the best fit for the household. I don't want to speak upon,
Sure.
what everybody's situation is different.
Sure. So after you come in and you do the evaluation, is there a contract to sign?
Yes. There is a contract to sign.
Everything should be in writing, right?
Yep. There are addendums in the back, so you can include the items that are not in the sale, so that's very clearly documented. And we also have an addendum that explains, like, if you have a minimum you want to set for a certain item, like if you know a collection is worth X amount and you don't want to accept below a certain amount, we do that as well.
Okay.
That's usually not because usually sometimes people overvalue their possessions. So, but we have it for people who need it.
Okay. So you said you had a background with antiques a little bit. Is that how are you pricing individual items? What's your background there?
Yeah, so that's just kind of a culmination of just doing it.
Okay.
And research. It's a lot of research. I've spent, you just learn through doing it. Sure. So I did it for, a while in Colorado, and I learned from that. And then, you get little tips and tricks on how to price accurately. And then, eventually it's like, yes, I've seen all of this, like everything in this house. And you just walk through and you've got the valuation already in your head. And you basically know by the end of the meeting, like it just comes with doing it a lot.
Do you come with tables, display cases, things like that? Or does the homeowner provide that?
Oh, yeah. We bring all of that. We are very organized with our sales. We're called Neat. So we make it very, everything accessible. We don't want anyone digging for anything. Because first of all, that means that we haven't seen the item, and we want to make sure that we've seen everything, because
Correct.
We don't want, because I talk to the regular customers, they sometimes say that they dig in a closet and they find like some stuff that we should have found, like silver but because they dug through and they found it, it's just important to do that. Make sure you get everything out and displayed.
Okay. How about for a typical estate sale, how much staffing do you provide?
Depends on the size of the house.
Okay.
Yeah. And if there's a detached garage, if we're not going to put our checkout table outside, which we can in the summer, because that way the person's monitoring and also handling checkout. But yeah, it depends. I usually want to have at least one person per floor.
Okay.
Usually.
Okay.
And if we need to get cameras, we can. We just need Wi-Fi, which is often not the case. Usually these houses don't have Wi-Fi.
Right. Okay. What about credit cards? Do you take credit cards and cash, or how does that transpire?
During the estate sale? Mm-hmm. Yeah, we take credit card. There's a fee. It's a small fee.
Like 3.5% or something?
Something like that. I think it's like 2.4.
Okay.
And then we do Venmo and Zelle. And we just have the Square. So it's just all of that sort of stuff.
Okay.
We want to take as many. We don't take a check unless we know the person. We just don't do that. But
okay.
And then obviously cash. But,
yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Excellent. So let's say the estate sale has happened. It's concluded. What next?
Okay. So next is the clean out. So this is kind of where the conversation with the client is most, we direct mostly towards that, because we want to handle the sale the way they want. So if on the last day, which is typically a Sunday, we're like, do you want us to just fire sale? Because the main thing that doesn't sell is like a china cabinet or like, an outdated furniture set. And basically we'll never do like a free day, just because that doesn't attract a crowd that we want to be managing. It's just a little bit unmanageable. So we've never gone advertised below 50%, but we're definitely open to advertising at 75%. It just depends. It depends on what the person wants. And if their main objective is to just have it all cleared out so that the cost for the clean out is much lower, we'll do that. We'll do whatever they want, because we're there to make them happy. So.
Right. So then the clean out happens.
Yes.
Let's talk about that. What is the typical cost for a clean out, or is it just too variable? Okay.
Yeah, it really depends. We try to be, because we take our own donations. We try to keep it as low as possible, especially if we've hosted the sale, because the objective for us to come in was to sell their items, not to come at them with like and now we're getting you for this. You know what I mean? It's just basically just the cost for us to get like a dumpster in our labor at the end. And then if we did that fire sale, usually it's not that much.
Okay.
We keep it low.
So if the client said, all right, at the end of this, I want the house completely cleaned out,
Yeah.
you would leave it maybe not broom clean.
We do. We leave it vacuumed and broom swept.
Okay. You do leave it broom clean.
Yeah. It doesn't take very long to do that, and it looks better.
And then it would be completely empty.
Yeah.
So, boy, that sounds like it takes a lot of hassle and, legwork out of the equation for the clients.
Yeah. And there are some people who oftentimes they're out of state and they just don't want to deal with it. They've taken all of their personal items that they want and they're like, just do it. And so, yeah, we're here to just make it easy. And then you come across the person who's been dealing with it for a year or two, and they're like exhausted. And I'm like, well, yeah, I mean, that's why we're here. We're here to help, and we can help you. There are even cases where the person is like, can you just help me figure out what I should keep, what I shouldn't keep? Like, we'll do that. We'll do whatever we can to help people.
Okay, great. All right, so everything's cleaned out now. How long until the client receives the check from their portion of the estate sale?
Very quickly. It just depends how they want it. Sometimes it's Zelle, sometimes it's a check. It depends how they want it and when they want it.
So within a week?
Oh, for sure.
Okay.
Usually, I'm not going to say all the time, but usually within like a day or two.
Okay.
We usually just take like Mondays off, and then, we'll get it out on like a Tuesday.
All right.
Yeah.
So you mentioned to me that you do have a store. Is that a store people can come to for shopping at some point, or?
Yeah. So I actually also shop at estate sales. They're just really good. And we do have a store in the Waterloo Arts District. It's called Neat Waterloo. We've got a workshop in the back. My business partner was a general contractor, so he's kind of teaching me how to refurbish furniture.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's fun. It's really fun. And then, there are some pieces that mid-century modern is really big right now, but sometimes, because they're old, you have to refurbish it to get the real value out of it. So that's sort of what we do. We'll buy things that can be refurbished and sold.
Excellent.
But we're only open by appointment. It's not really it's just really like fun, I guess. I don't,
Well, I'll put up the link so people can find you. What about on your website? Do you have like client satisfaction, testimonial type things on there?
I do.
Excellent.
Nobody's ever done it, but we have Google reviews. We really encourage people to give us, a Google review. So that's where you can.
I find if I send the link to my clients via text, then they answer it.
Yeah, that's what we do. And obviously no pressure, but we direct people to our Google page. And then through Squarespace you get reviews as well.
Okay.
So I take screenshots of that, and I should post them somewhere. It's just social media is a lot of work. And content creation is a lot of work.
Yes, it is.
And I forget sometimes.
Okay. Well, is there anything I forgot that you want to throw out there?
Yeah, the donation process.
Oh, yes.
That's huge. So let's see, where do I begin? So we want to donate as much as possible.
Are there any specific places you donate to?
I got on the phone with the person that I'm working with right now, right before coming here, to see how he'd want me to talk about what we're doing. But we are working actually to start a nonprofit because he's connected to a bunch of churches. He knows how to get things to exactly the home that it needs to be. Because we have food, we have furniture that, it's not super valuable, but somebody could use it.
Yes.
And you don't want to go to Goodwill. You don't want to go to Salvation Army. We use Habitat for Humanity. There are a few places that we prefer to work with.
Okay.
And I just sort of was talking to my business partner. I was like, I wish we could just start our own, and it just fell in my lap where I met this, his name is Brother Randall, and we are looking to start. He's looking for trucks and like warehouse space. I'm meeting him today. We're meeting the mayor today to talk about all of this. So yeah, that's real. I'm really
Well, if you need
excited.
warehouse space, I do know a good realtor.
Okay. That's great. Yeah, we do need. I don't know how it's all going to look or how it's going to play out, but I've been talking to him for a while now about how we're going to get this nonprofit set up so that I know that it's going to where we want it to go.
Excellent.
Which is people who need it.
Excellent.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining me today.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
You can find the link to Neat Ohio down below. And if you like what you've seen, click subscribe. Thank you.
Thanks.